Hi, I'm Jeff and you're here. Before we get started, Black lives do have it will always matter. There'll be links in the description for you to check out, and just remember, it is our responsibility to protect Black women every single day. Now look, I know the angle is a little close, okay, and I know I'm looking a little crusty, musty, and dusty, but baby, we are trying this new thing out. Okay, so a little backstory. Okay, I really want to incorporate. It's thundering out here in Philadelphia and my AC's on because it's also hot, so excuse the noises. Okay, back to the story. I really want to start doing book reviews, but I talk with my hands a lot, as y'all know, and it's actually something I'm really self-conscious about because I hate it, right? And so when I would record book reviews, it was just so awkward. So your hands need something to do. So I was thinking, I was like, what can I do that will keep my hands moving and keep me engaged enough to tell y'all what happened in the story? And I said, you know what? I can, I'm not a makeup professional. And to be honest, I don't even do my makeup all the time. It's literally once in a blue moon. But, I think I do an okay job. I will have a good time trying to get me a little slayage while I spill this tea. So with that, this is maKIKIage, where we do makeup and I tell you about a book I just read. So let's go.
Wearing puka jeans from Diesel, I'll never need you. This is a sequel. I'm Max Keeble. I'm representing for the Black people.
I will have the names of them right here. Ooh, I feel like a guru. Girl, please. It's me gassing me up for me because, child, we gonna see how this works. Okay, first things first, I'm the realist. The book that we're gonna be talking about tonight, because it's 9:14 p.m. You by Carolyn Kepnes. This is the book that the Netflix show is inspired by, and let me just tell you before I begin, the book 1,000 times better. I gave it 4 stars. Well, actually, I gave it 3 stars, but now that I think about it, I'm gonna give it 4 stars. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so normally I'd prime, but I can't find my primer, so we're not. These brushes are new. However, I just did my makeup on Saturday and I haven't had a chance to wash them yet. So they might look a little dirty on camera, but they're not, they're not like 5 uses in, Let's get into it, honestly, because I'm not even a makeup guru, child. I'm just here on Al Gore's internets trying to tell y'all this story. Okay, this book opens up and this man, his name is Joe Goldberg, and he is working at a bookstore, and he is just living his best life, just talking about how Kindle is destroying the world and how no one reads physical books anymore and how this is going to be obsolete, and everyone who's here isn't really here for the books. They're just here because the news told them to get it. They're not even going to read it. He's literally judging everybody's book picks or whatever, which hard relate, but also you don't have to be pretentious about it, sir. Just keep it to yourself, Anyway, in walks this girl, and this man falls in complete love with him. I met her. He is absolutely infatuated, and he remembers what book section she's going to. He's starting to follow her, and then she comes to the the register, right, to pay. Of course, he's, you know, trying to put it on her, trying to give her the good word, trying to, you know, finesse, throw the oop, whatever the kids are calling it these days. And she's like, oh, hey, whatever. You know, he notes that, oh, she's not wearing a bra. And he, like, off the jump, just starts talking crazy. Like, oh, I can see by the way you flip through that book. You want me to come devour you. Like, sir, can I not just read this book? Like, I'm just trying to read the blurb and see what the tea is. This is why I don't be reading the blurbs. I just be picking it up and purchasing, because I'm not trying to have nobody out here staring at me for forever, okay? Sir, not here, not now. Oh, that you're hot for me and you're ready for me. And I'm like, is she a Little Caesars pizza? Pizza. Like, no, relax. And she tells him the name, you know, hey, my name is Guinevere Beck. Nice to meet you, but I have to go now because I have a life and I have friends, and sir, I don't even know you. You know what I'm saying? So he remembers her name, because of course he does. He's automatically in love with this woman. And he goes and he looks her up. Oh, I said he has no social media, right? So this man has no social media, and he's just browsing, finding out about Guinevere Beck. He finds out her name, he finds out her friends, he finds out her family, finds out about her friends. He finds out her best friend's name is Peach. He finds out about her, you know, her school situation, and that she's a struggling writer, and she's a writer in college or in university. I think she's getting her bachelor's, because she's 22. Oh, he finds out that she was born and raised in Nantucket. He finds her Twitter. He finds out that she loves being on social media. And he's just finding out literally everything about this girl. Oh, he finds out where she lives, right? And within the first day or two, he goes to her house one night and just watches her from the window, like just hiding in the bushes, just watching her. Okay, y'all, so I'm going for like a smoky look because Joe's real sneaky. And that's just the tea. That's why. One night goes to her house while she's having sexy time with herself and her pillow, doing her, literally. So and another night he goes over there and she has company, and he's watching them have sexy time. And he's just like, oh, Beck, I wish it was me. Oh, I see when you're laying in bed alone, having your alone time, that you really want to be with me. And oh, how I wish I was that pillow, and how I wish that you, like, sir, she does not even know you from a can of paint. What even is the color of the paint? She doesn't know. He does all that, right? He was like peering because she lived on the first floor of her apartment complex. And he went inside and was snooping through her computer, looking through her things, touching and smelling her underwear, just living his best life. Like, if she comes home, everything's gonna be 112 peaches and cream. Sir, no. Like, buying disguises, using different disguises just to spy on this woman that doesn't even know. Who doesn't even know him? And honestly, moving on. And so now he's like, all right, I'm not close enough to this woman. I need more. He was giving Sharpay Evans, okay? He needed more. So he finds out her ins and out, and he, oh girl, he's even like going to lunch while her friends are going to lunch, and it's just watching her interact with her friends in a red hat, just a lonely red hat, thinking that ain't nobody finna see him because my hat is red, okay? But through all this spying, he finds out that he finds out that she's gonna be at a bar doing a reading of her book, right? And he's like, you know what, I'm just gonna show up, act like, you know, it's New York, so no one's gonna be suspicious that I am just in this bar. Like, oh my gosh, you happen to be in this bar too. So they do that. She gets drunk, and of course Joe is here to save the day, and is like, oh yeah, I'm gonna hail you a cab, and we're both gonna get in this cab and get you home. Becca's like, oh my god, yeah, that's such a great idea. I love it. I love it. I love that. That's what they do. She loses her phone. But she doesn't really lose her phone. He took her phone. He had her phone. He had her phone. And she's talking about something, oh man, I lost my phone. I can't find it. Oh, well, I'm good for losing phones, child. And he's like, oh yeah, give me your number. I'll call you, see if we can find it. Of course, can't find it because that thing deep in his pocket, already on silence, do not disturb, all of that. She gets home. He logs into her phone in true stalker fashion, logs into her phone and, you know, takes a picture of all her passwords just in case, you know, she changes the passwords. He knows all the probable answers for a new password. He goes into her email. He finds out that she's just gonna buy a new phone. Her mama got money, so her mama's not gonna know that there's this extra bill. Her mama's just nobody's gonna know, like literally. So he finds this out because he's reading her email that she's sending to her friends, and he's also reading emails that she's sending about Benji. Remember Benji, her boyfriend, who she loves, her situationship, because situationship and boyfriend are two different things. Lesson. You always know that there's always a lesson when you're on this channel. With my hooded eyes, oh my god, we're gonna see how they look. Not me showing off for the girls. Also, finding out about this Benji character, and finds out everything he needs to know about Mr. Benjamin. So, Mr. Benjamin, although I'm not talking about the money Benjamin sure had a lot of it. So Benji, he went to Yale, Yale, or some big prestigious school, child. You know, these people got trust fund money. Benji is really a drug addict, like heroin and cocaine and oxys and all of that. And he finds out that he is working on his something called home soda. It's like this like craft beer thing, I want to say. I didn't really get a full scope of that, but you know, he finds out Benji's only using Beck for sex. He's like, I would never do that to you. He must be eliminated because he's hurting you, correct? So how does he do that? So on a night, Benji makes a date with Beck, and then Beck cancels with Joe, and makes up an excuse, which isn't even an excuse because y'all not together, you know? But don't tell Joe that, okay? He will come after me. Joe's mad about that, and he's like, oh, now I know how your night could be freed up. I'm gonna act like I'm this food critic guy, and I'm gonna lock this man up in a cage. Now, speaking of the cage, there's a cage in the bookstore basement, and of course, Benji's like, oh my god, dude, that's awesome, and cancels with Beck, and of course, now that that's canceled, Beck texts him like, hey, let's hang out, and he's like, oh yeah, of course, no big deal, I just have this thing to do real quick. And so he gets Benji, he lures Benji in, he pops a few downers, roofies, rohypnol in, I was gonna say benzos, rohypnol in Benji's drink. Of course, Benji, oh, I need to sit, I'm about to pass out. Benji passes out, wakes up in the cage. Benji's like, now what is going on here? And then Benji, Benji I think had come to the bookstore before. So now Benji recognizes him, and he's like, oh snap, you here because you want Beck, like you could have her, she really like a thought anyway, and honestly she's all yours, you could take her. I don't want her, she's all yours, I ain't gonna stick beside her, nothing, just take her and take me home. I'm not gonna tell nobody. If you want money, I'll give you money, but honestly I don't care about that. But of course that makes Joe even madder. Like, how dare you not care about the woman I love? Like, how dare you not care about the woman I love? And so now Joe is like, oh, okay, whatever, but I'ma torture you, tranquilize you, I'm still gonna feed you though, but you ain't finna get out of here, and we gonna give you some reading tests. Write down a list of all the books that you read, and then we finna give you a test on it. Now, this man done lied about one of the books that he read, and Joe did not like that. Joe was upset, okay? Joseph was upset. In retaliation, Joe's like, okay, so now you really gotta stay here. Like, now you really can't leave, sir. And he finds out that, oh, well, Benji's like vegan and everything. And then he also finds out that Benji has a peanut allergy, but he also knows that Benji's a liar. So he's like, all right, well, you could be capping, sir. Like, you probably don't even have a food allergy. Like, you probably just saying that because you know that it pisses me off when you stay asking me for stuff. Like, leave me alone. Okay, please and thank you. Have a nice life. But one night, oh, meanwhile, while all of this is going on, this man is tweeting like he's Benji, and Benji is doing coke in the cage, and he's not being helped. Like, he's just sitting here just doing his drugs, passing out, being mean when he's high, you know. And but Beck still misses him. Beck is emailing her friends like, oh my gosh, I still miss him. And they're like, forget him, he really doesn't even love you, he doesn't care about you, like, you're literally wasting everyone's time, please hush up. Joe is upset because Beck keeps missing you, and he's like, okay, well, the only way that Beck will stop missing you is if you're dead to her. And the easiest way to make her dead to her, to make you dead to her, is to make you dead to everybody, for real. IRL. Let's kill you. I was gonna say let's get your life, but it's let's end your life. How about that? One night he brings down 3 homebrew drinks, and he has peanut oil in one of them, and he tells Benji to drink them, and he's like, I'm not gonna drink that, and he's like, this is your craft soda, beer, water thing. I want you to drink them and tell me which one is yours. And he drinks all of them, and he's like, oh, all of them suck. Like, they all taste like swill. They're all garbage. Mine would never taste like that. And then Joe was like, you're wrong because all 3 are yours. And then this man passes out, dying because he talked right after he talked smack about his own product. That's wild. And then Joe looks and he's like, well, you picked the wrong thing to be honest about, buddy, because now you're dead. I was like, wow. Benji's dead. You would think the tweets would stop. No. Of course the tweets have to continue because we need the illusion of Benji still being alive. So, you know, he would tweet sometimes and talk about all the coke that he's doing and all the women that he's meeting. Like the women that you're meeting in Hades are where because he no longer lives. Meanwhile, while all this is going on, Joe and Beck, of course, are getting closer and closer, getting to know each other. You know, the vibes are right, the vibes are there, everything is going as according to his plan. He kills Benji, and then he tries to link up with her, but she's like, oh, so sorry, I have plans, like I'm doing this thing with my friends. And he knows that that's not true, obviously, because he's like still reading her email. And he's like, okay. So he follows her, and it turns out that she's at this like weird, this Charles Dickens boat party. Get this, with her dad. Now she's out here telling everybody that her daddy's dead. Like he told her. She told him that, oh, let me put my AirPod out. She told him that her daddy was dead. She told everybody. But that wasn't the case. The case is, and so she was just embarrassed, and so she just told everybody that he was dead. So of course Joe's mad at first because he's like, how dare you lie to me, like we should never lie to each other. He's like, I'm gonna crash this party. Apparently you didn't need the ticket to get into the party because he got himself a cute little disguise. He meets your dad at a distance. He meets your step siblings at a distance. He meets your stepmom because your stepmom was flirting with him. And I was like, sis, this is not what you want. Be grateful that he does not want you, okay? Oh, he had a fake beard, right? He got a fake beard when he went to go get his costume for the boat party. And he got throw up on his beard, right? So he leaves, and right before the ship docks, there he is hiding, of course, because he doesn't want her to see him. So of course he's hiding, but he's hiding right near where her family is, right? She turns around and he's like, for a millisecond, oh, you see me or whatever. And then the next chapter's like, you call me 4 times and I don't answer. Like, I don't know how I'm going to explain to you what's going on. You keep calling, blah, 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 blah. And then she shows up at the door and he's like, oh snap, now you're gonna tell me that you know that I'm crazy. Meanwhile, while all of this is happening, in the background, he's still like out here going into her house and stealing her things, like stealing her bikini top, her panties, her bras, her yearbook. She comes inside and she's like, oh, I have to tell you a secret, my dad's not really dead, and he's in the clear again. And it's like, sir, to have that privilege. So he's sitting there, she's telling him about the boat party like he wasn't there the whole time, but of course she doesn't know he was there the whole time. Everything that they go through, it's okay, like I can't wait to like have sex with you, I can't wait to bed you and have relations with you roughly and everything. And it's like, can she like breathe? So there's this other time. Oh, so let me tell you about the time he met Peach. So Beck invites him to a party at her friend Peach's house, and she's like, yeah, it's Peach's grandfather's house or uncle's house, and her uncle is J.D. Salinger. J.D. Salinger, author of The Catcher in the Rye. He went to Ursinus College for a year and then like dropped out, and then later like committed suicide or whatever. But He's a really famous American writer. And of course he's stoked. He's like, oh my god, J.D. Salinger's house. I'm so excited. I am stoked. Like, I cannot believe it. But he hates Peach. Absolutely hates her. And he senses that Peach has feelings for his girlfriend who isn't even his girlfriend, right? He's like, oh no, I have to put a stop to this because I'm the only one who needs to be in your life, Beck. No one else. Nothing more, nothing less. Argue with your mama, not me. Casper has entered the chat for a few minutes while I bake. Right, so they get to J.D. Salinger's house or whatever. He is like, I think she loves you and I don't like that. So he's going to the bathroom or whatever, and of course he's snooping. He finds a room that has a box of pictures of you, and it turns out that Peach was stalking you. Well, not y'all, but like Peach was also stalking Guinevere, like, but not stalking because they were friends, you know what I'm saying? But Peach had pictures of her, and Peach had candids of you, and he was like, nah, Peach is in love with you. I don't like that. Okay, you know what? I'm finna eliminate her. He finds out through emails that she likes to go for runs in the morning, and he finds her route, tracks her for a few days, and then one day follows her, hits her over the head with a rock. He walks away thinking she's dead. Peach is still alive, and of course that's her best friend, so she's like, I'm not gonna leave my best friend now, like, she just got hit. Joe doesn't like that. Joe was like, I literally almost killed her. I literally did that for you, and you should be grateful, and you should show me that you're grateful by spending all of your time with me. But of course he can't say that because then he'll seem creepy. Ugh. So because of this attack, Peach is like, sis, I just need to get away. Let's go to Little Compton in Rhode Island and let's just spend some time in my family's beach house. It's like middle of winter, it's like January, but okay. Rhode Island is still on this coast, so it's not like it'll be hot where you're going. It's still gonna be cold, but live your life. And that's what her friend said, Hannah, and I want to say her name is Chloe, but I don't think that's right. Oh, her and Joe had gotten into a fight prior to this, so she's texting her friends and she's like, I miss him, I don't know what I should do. And Hannah's like, just call him, girl, like, you're an adult, he's an adult. He'll want to see you if he wants to see you. This is why they stopped talking. So he finally gets her all to himself, and he's finally like gonna get this sexy time that he so was requesting, that he was gonna rock her world like better than that pillow. Okay, they go downstairs into the cage, and within 8 seconds this man is dunzo diazepine. Like, that man, he said, like, not even that, he said, he was done. Like, they say if you have alone time before you have together time, that makes your together time last even longer. But maybe so. Maybe it would have been even shorter if he didn't have that alone time, child. I don't know. So emailing her friends, I feel like I, you know, just was calling. If you need me, call me. No matter where you are, no matter how far, don't worry, baby. That's a song he was singing to himself. He said, oh snap, she missed me, boy. Boy, she about to call me, boy. She about to ring me up, boy. I'm finna drive up to Rhode Island, boy. I'm finna wait for you to call me, and then I'm finna. He said he was so sure she was gonna call. He was like, I'm just finna drive up there. He drives up to Rhode Island, boy, in the snow. In the snow. He ain't take no nap or nothing, Jesus. He just was like, skirt, skirt, finna hit that. He like falls asleep a little bit and hits a deer. And he's like, oh snap, what do I do? Because now, if I hit a deer, then the police or the state troopers finna come. Then you finna see all the lights. Because he was right there by the house. He was literally like right there, okay? He goes into the bushes and is watching them, you know, just kiki, have their little girls' day. And then Peach and Beck, well, I think Peach got a little hurt or something like that. And then Peach started giving Beck a foot massage, and one thing led to another, and then so they was trying to have their together time, but Beck was like, nah, shout it. And then Peach was like, it's fine, it's whatever. And Joe is fuming, honey. Joe is upset, honey. Joe is like, how dare you? You cheated on me. Shameless plug real quick. I know I said everything finna be in the description below. However, my best friend has a lash line, and these are her lashes. So I'm gonna have the link down below, and ooh, y'all can get y'all a pair. Alright, y'all, I had to go put these on off camera because sis was big tripping, okay? So this man just thought that because you told your friends, oh sorry, because Beck told her friends that she missed you, that automatically meant that she was gonna call. So he planned to just get to the lake house, beach house, whatever, hide out in the bushes, because he was there before, remember, because that's where the JD Salinger party was. He was just gonna get there, park up in the bushes, listen to this little mixtape he made you, and then you were gonna call him, and he was gonna wait 3 hours because that's how long it would take to get from Manhattan, I think, to Rhode Island. And then he would just pull around the corner and act like he just got there. So when he didn't get no text from you, and he sees that you're trying to have fun lady time with your lady friend, he's confused. But that's when he knew for sure. He was like, oh. He was like, Peach want you, and I don't want her on this earth anymore. So he crawls back to his car, trail of blood, child, trail of blood, falls asleep, passes out, because this man is bleeding, okay? And here's a knock, and this black police officer is like, hold up, wait a minute, what's going on now? Let me put some ticket in it. To get to the hospital, of course, he's telling some bogus story. Not really bogus, but like, it's the truth. But like, he, of course, didn't want to give any details. He gets a cab back to Elsila Compton, and he's like, perfect. I know for a fact that, what's her name? Peach is gonna go out for a run. And then that is when I will strike. So Peach goes out for her run, he follows her, he hits her, kills her. He puts rocks in her pocket, throws her over the pier, sends Beck an email, like, the hardest thing that I've ever had to do is leave you, but I can't be with somebody who doesn't love me back, blah blah blah. And then they find her eventually, and then she's like, oh, it's my fault, everyone I love dies, everything I touch dies. Meanwhile, they get their relationship back on track. She's like in love with him, blah blah blah. And hearing about this Dr. Nikki person, and he's like, who's that? Turns out her therapist. And he suspects that she's sleeping with the therapist. And so he's like, let me make an appointment and see what's up. Makes an appointment, gives the name Dan Fox, and he actually really likes therapy. He likes it. He likes Dr. Nikki. They're friends now. He's like, there's no way that you're sleeping with Dr. Nikki. Like, you love me. He is a cool dude, and he would never do that to me, even though he doesn't even know about you and Beck. So, whatever. Joe hacks into his computer, finds Beck's file, and it's like, bingo, this is exactly what I needed. Downloads Beck's file. The doctor comes in and he sees him at the computer, and you know what he says? He's like, oh yeah, oh my gosh, I did tell you I just watched the video and I can't believe I stepped out the room and the video was still open. And I was like, how many lives does this man have getting away with all of this? He starts listening to these recordings and he finds out that, oh my gosh, like, y'all really are in love. And that's what he was talking about when he breached our confidentiality or whatever. And he's mad. He's like, how dare this man abuse his authority. And he's like, I had to kill Dr. Nikki. And right before he goes to do the deed, he gets a text message from Beck, and Beck is like, come over, and then they have their big talk, and then that's when everything is good. And he's like, move in with me, but it's only been like a month or two. You know, I'm really focused on school right now. And he's like, okay, cool, like, I'm gonna buy your MacBook Pro, like, so you can do your work over here. He's like, no, you don't have to. Later he finds out it's because Mr. Nick, the psychiatrist, had already bought her a MacBook Pro, and he only found that out because he was snooping through her house while she was there. I want to say she was taking a shower, and he was just snooping through her house and found it. And that's when he found all the pictures, and that's when he got mad. Like, he was upset, okay? And he's like, you're supposed to be with me, you're supposed to move in with me, you're supposed to get married to me, I'm supposed to make you feel good. Oh yeah, during this time they're rehabbing coitus, and he redeems himself, I guess. Oh, speaking of coitus, while he's going to therapy, the therapist is like, well, you know, you need to get a cat for the mouse, this whole analogy, child. And so he meets this new girl, they start dating. It's a good kiki, it's a good time. But he's like, you're not Beck, I love Beck. The girl loved you. Like, I think that girl, I forgot her name was Becky, I think. I don't remember. But I think that girl would have been a much better pick for him than little Beck, right? So I'm gonna set some highlight on these cheeks. My small nose, ugh, I hate it. He was like, is water under the bridge now? He really stopped checking her phone because she was really with him all the time. And so he was like, ain't no reason to check your phone, I trust you, ain't nobody coming between us because Benji's dead, Peach is dead, so it's really just me and you now, shawty. Playing house, essentially. And so he was like, honey, I'm on my way home. And she's like, Kay. And the K would normally make him mad, but ain't nothing messing him up right now. He's so happy. He's like, you know what, this K don't mean nothing, okay? You know what, it's giving me potassium, and that's energy. That's all I need. He gets to his house. He had a wall, a hole in his wall, and that's where he kept his, like, Beck shrine, like her underwear and stuff. And she found it, and she was like, what is going on? Like, why do you have my stuff? And she finds his black box too, and the black box is his, like, memorial scrap and memorial, like, it has her everything. It has her yearbook, it has more bras and panties, it has a scrapbook he was making her, like, it had everything. And he's like, let me explain. And she's like, no, like, you're a stalker, you're a murderer, you killed my friends, you killed people who loved me. Well, Benji didn't love her. And he was like, you're being really mean, I don't like it. So he fights with her and knocks her out, puts her in the cage. And, you know, Beck could play the game. Beck is like, you know what, it's fine, I love you. He's like, let's do a pop quiz. And he asks her a few times, are you having relations with Nikki or somebody, her doctor? And she keeps saying no. And he pulls out the MacBook and is like reading messages, and she's like, yes. And then he's like asking her questions. Do you love me? Have you thought about marriage with me? Do you still want to be with him? She's like, no, I don't want to be with him, I only want to be with you. And he's like, all right, well then decipher this email for me. And he's reading her this email about him saying that he's gonna leave his wife for her. And she's like, oh my gosh, like, please stop doing this, I only want you. And then things get better a little bit, and he's like living his life and thinks that one day that everything will be peaches 112, peaches and cream, and he can let her out one day. And she's like, oh, boom. And cuddled up one night, and so she's like, yeah, I'll never come back, like you'll never see me again, it's fine, like you'll never have to worry about me again. And he's like, don't you see, I want to be with you, like I want to live with you and be with you forever, blah blah blah. And he steps out or whatever, he comes back and he catches her trying to escape and scream for help, and he's like, what are you doing? And they start grappling behind the register, and then this man completely loses it, okay? He's like, I did everything for you, you're this and that. He's like, I did everything for you, you're ungrateful, you're supposed to be with me, I deserve you, like all of this bad stuff that I, look at my knee, all of this bad stuff that I went through in my life, I need reparations, and you're my reparations, and there's nothing you can do about it, and you need to love me, and why don't you love me? And so after she tries to escape, he like calms her down and restrains her, and they, I guess, lay together again. And he's like, okay, so what happens next? And that's when she's like, oh, like I'll disappear, and you know. And he's like, that's not the right answer. So the right answer is me. You're supposed to say that you want me, but she doesn't say that. And so in the midst of her saying that she'll disappear and she'll leave him alone, he gets mad and he wraps his hands around her throat, and she looks at him and she's like, Joe, help. And so when he releases his hands, he starts calling her name. She's not answering. He's like, dang, what did I do? Then he starts to see her flawed, like he sees his books and stuff, right? Then he buries her. Child. So then he's like, I don't know what to do with her, like she's dead, I don't know what to do, I did not mean for this to happen, but now we're here, what do? He goes and he buries her body in Dr. Nick, her psychologist, yeah, her therapist. He buries her body in her therapist's backyard while he listens to an episode of King of Queens or something like that. And so now when they dig up the body, it's presumed that Dr. Nikki killed her. So now fast forward, he's going on dates and he's trying to forget her, and he's like, oh, I'm never gonna be with anybody, I'm gonna die alone, like nobody's ever gonna want me, I'm worthless, like I killed the only woman who ever loved me. And I'm just like, she never even loved you, but go off, I guess. And then one day this girl walks in, and this is the day where she gets the invitation, when he gets the invitation. So she sees the invitation, and of course that's a conversation starter. And then she starts going on and on about books and how Kindles are gonna ruin the paper companies and the paper industries and the publishing companies. And that's when he's like, I could fall in love again. And that's how the book ends, basically. But yeah, this is the look. It's okay, I guess. It's cute for me, but like I wouldn't do this on anybody else just because I don't know what I'm doing, for real. As y'all saw today, I really don't know. But anyway, go check out Josie Lavish Lash. The everything that will be linked down below. Anyway, that's all we have for today. Thank you for joining me on maKIKIage. I have to go because I have more books to read, but I will see you seeing me in the next one. Bye.